Hello, YouTube! I am Pinstar, and this is another Brick in the Mall Strategy and Tactics Episode 5. So, yeah, remember last episode when I said that was the last one? Yeah, I lied. There's a lot more I want to cover, I realized, and a lot more good stuff to show you. So let us press on. Between the last episode and this one, they introduced another little update, 2.01, which has rendered this to be an old save. So we might see a couple of bugs crop up here or there, and that might just be due to me running an old save. But I don't want to abandon the mall that we've built up so far. It's doing nicely. So I think we're going to press on here. Bugs be damned. Although they seem to be the bane of my existence recently, but I digress. So we've advanced time a little bit here. Let a couple of days go by. We have successfully completed the clothing supplier research chain. We do not actually want the alcohol license, though. What do we want? Actually, we do want the alcohol license. So go ahead and continue researching that alcohol license. So having gotten our clothing chain here, what we want to do, or what I want to cover today, is specialty stores. So if we take a look at our needs, and let's sort this thing by clothing, here are all the items that now fall under the clothing chain. Clothing chain is actually a really, really good research to do fairly early on, along with electronics, because besides jewelry, which is its own research, you get all of these with one single research item. It's really, really freaking good, and a lot of these are actually really, really high markup. So it works out for you in more than one way. Now, one thing I do want to note here is when you're thinking about demand tiers, as I've mentioned before, if you just by having a shelf in a store, any store, doesn't matter what, you get tier 1. So let's say, for example, dresses here. We've got, if you by natural demand, one person will come in looking for a dress if it's stuck randomly in any store. However, if you have a dress rack that is in a store that is over 50% clothing, then you will get 8 more people who are going to come in specifically looking for dresses. And then you have tier 3, and not all item categories have tier 3s. If you see nothing, then you get nothing. There is no specialty store for shirts. So there's no need to hyper specialize. Getting the tier 2 is enough to max out the demand for this item. So let's take a look through here. So we've got a women's lingerie as a potential specialty. So if we will pick up 4 more demand from women's lingerie, if we make that into a specialty store. I think the only other specialty store, women's shoes, or men's shoes. Actually, you could turn it into a shoe store, but although there's 2 different flavors of shoe stores, whereas men's underwear does not have its own specialty. So you know what? Darn it, we're going to go women's lingerie. That's going to be our specialty store that we're going to build here. So we've got our store laid out here. I've got it built up here. You can see I've expanded a little bit. But we got to give this thing a name. Let's give it a name. How about Maru's Secret? Who the heck cares about Victoria? Now then, as far as laying out a specialty store, what you want to do is you need to make sure that you exceed 50% of the one good that you're specializing in. So over 50% of all the shelves in Maru's Secret need to be women's lingerie. That might seem like overkill. It kind of is by design. That's how you get the specialty store designation. But that being said, you can have other things besides that in the store. So we've got our entrance over here. This is going to be sort of our singular entrance. We're not going to run quite as harsh of a gambit right here as we do here, because clothing by itself is pretty high markup by itself. So people who come into the store looking for clothing, we actually want them to buy clothing, because clothing's pretty decently marked up as it is. So what we want to do is, you want to sort of space out, or rather count out exactly what your ratio is going to be. So basically, however many items of not lingerie we have, we need to have that many racks of lingerie plus 1. So what I basically want to do is I want to get at least one thing of all the other clothing items, and then obviously I need that many more lingerie items to match. So so here we've got 6 different items, so we'll get 6 clothing racks. 1, 2, 3, 4. By the way, these are all just staff doors I've made redundant here. 2, 3, 4. We don't necessarily need this one here in the middle, or this one here at the bottom. Yeah, let's get rid of the one at the bottom. So that's 5. And yeah, we'll put you here. So that's 6. So there's those 6 items. And now the rest are on the shelves. Let's see. We have men's shoes, women's shoes, men's underwear. So we got 3 more non-lingerie items. So, and actually what I want to do here is... No, actually I want to keep that there. That's fine. We got you, and you. So the rest of these need to be lingerie. And we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lingerie counters in order to keep this as a specialty store. Now, I mean, if we just put a couple in there, it would still be a clothing store, because all of these are going to be clothing items, but we wouldn't get the bonus people for the lingerie. We also, of course, need checkout counters. So let's get you and you and you. Are we going to need 3? Clothing's not quite as high volume. Let's get 3 and see if we can fit them. If we can't, we'll knock one of those out. So can we squeeze in 10 clothing items? I think we can. See, if we utilize the up and down here, we can go here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and heck, we even have some free space here. Although we can't really put anything in here. If we put something that isn't lingerie, we'd need 1 more lingerie to balance it out. We don't exactly have the room for that. So this is actually going to be something decorative of some sort. Yes, a pinball machine in a lingerie store. Very fitting. No. Let's get some plants in here. Make things look nice. Plant B, and maybe a water dispenser. There. The store is going to be hot. Got to cool people down. All right, I think that's good. You know what? Let's, since we have the money, let's give it a nice little red sheen here. Beautiful. Beautiful. Excellent. All right, let's manage Maru's secret. We've got it assigned to our storage right over here. So that'll be all set. Let's get some staffers in. Stock clerk. Wow. You are hero stock clerk and low sociability, so I can take you out of the cashier pool. So welcome aboard. Why don't you come on? Why don't you come in at 4 in the morning? That makes more sense. You'll get those shelves filled nice and quick. Let's also make sure, yeah, we're 6 to 11, same hours as our other shop. Let's hire cashier. Ugh. Tommy's still sticking around. Guess we're going to have to go with Floyd here. Yeah, you start at 6. God dang it, people! All right, you're a good builder. You know what? Darn it, we're gonna hire another builder. One more builder just to get you out of the pool, and because we can afford it. And you know what? Let's go back to getting all of our builders at the same time. There we go. All right, can we now please have, all right, a decent cashier? You, my friend, are going to be start at 14. Oh, there we go. You're going to be our floater. Are we going to need the extra cashiers? We'll see if we need them. I don't actually know if we do. Yeah, hurry up, guys. Get this store built so I can get it designated. Okay, so now when people come in, I know for a fact that dresses are one of the highest priced items in the clothing store. So if we have someone coming into the clothing store who is a fashion victim, we want them to pick up the dress before they pick up any of the lower priced items in there. That's kind of going to be the only amount of impulse buy tempting we're going to do with this store. Again, just because clothing in general is pretty profitable. We'll also get jackets, we'll get shirts and coats and pants and t-shirts. And then over here we'll have women's shoes, an item of men's shoes, men's underwear, and then everything else is women's lingerie. Are we ever going to sell out of this much women's lingerie in a single freaking day? No. We will not. We will not sell that many items of women's lingerie. But we need to have this many on display to attract, to basically make our store a specialty store and be able to stock some of the weirder stuff. Right then, I think we've got that settled then. So let's fast forward here, and actually just to keep our builders building, since we've got that all set, let's get you foundations down here, and we're going to build out the rest of this. We'll keep these walls here. We want to keep those in place. That way the builders will have something to do at night. Oh, one other thing is, and this is something I'm kind of toying with the notion of, is do I allow my stores to cross-pollinate here, or do I make them go through the exit here? Because the issue is that some people will park over here but want to go to this store, so they'll park over here, go through the clothing store, and yeah, that tempts them to the clothing store, but they dodge all the electronics. But then again, it does tempt them to the clothing. Oh, that reminds me. There's one other thing I want to do here. You and you need to be moved. The reason being is I want to put a single unit of clothing as part of our temptation line down here. Because even though this store is certainly not going to be a specialty store, we want the temptation there. So we need ourselves a clothing rack. And then that shelf will be our place for the toys. It looks like our builders are going home for the night. Oh well. It'll be a day without toys. And we still have our primary lure here. All right, so let's focus in here. Look at all these bras and panties and what have you. Many lingeries. Now, like I said, we're not going to get a lot of... Oh, fashion victim. What were you doing? You were looking for men's underwear, but you couldn't resist the dresses. So even with this, we're still getting that, and we're still getting good markups. Let's take a look at our markups here. So profit 200 to 400 on the dresses versus men's underwear 10 to 20. 100 to 200 on the jackets, 40 to 80 on the shirts, 200 to 400. Yeah, coats are the other item. In fact, I might make the coats go down there. So that's more of a gender neutral. But yeah, the shoes, actually the women's shoes are not bad at all either. And yeah, the lingerie is actually not that great. So perhaps I should have done the shoes. But you know what? I'm going to stick with Maru's secret. It works. People are happy. People are fashionable. And you know what? Maybe I will. Yeah, here's what we're going to do. We're going to make you coats. We're going to make you t-shirts. We're going to remove that, turn that into a regular door. Well, unfortunately, I took some of the stuff out there. I should have waited till the end of the day. But yeah, like I said, you're going to get a lot less volume in here compared to over here, which is why I only had these guys. But as our business grows, we might need more cashiers. Especially if we start letting people cross-pollinate. We just need to treat each of these as separate entrances. And it looks like we're still making a freaking huge profit here. Oh, get all those things recorded. Come on. Dang. Missed out on a pair of pants. Alright, let's slow this beast down here. Alright, we gotta get walls to get this wall back into place. Objects. Regular door. So that people can cross-pollinate here. Alright, we got these built, so this will be our toys that we were missing out on, and this will be our coats that we were missing out on. Down here, as far as... Well, if we're going to cross-pollinate, we might as well put a door down here. And then we could do a... yeah, we could do a door over here. Yeah, that's good enough. That'll work. Now, while you guys are doing that, let's get you guys just working on some road work. Well, actually, I could plan out... How far am I from my my research here? Yeah, not too far. All right, so let's build out this store. This is going to actually be my my beverage store / alcohol specialization, which is why I was waiting for the alcohol license. Because in this particular store over here, also, by the way, see, women's lingerie over 50%, so we get the tier 3 bonus with that. 100% clothing, so we get the tier 2 bonus for everything else. And look at that, 87% profit margin. I told you clothing's lucrative. Pine Star's Retail Oasis, still pretty darn good margin here. And this is 58% food, so this is a food specific. Obviously, the specific products are too dispersed to consider it a specialty store, but that's fine. Most of the food stores out there are just fine at tier 2. I don't need to gut the store to try and force it into a tier 3 into anything. But we are going to go for a tier 3 in some alcohol. So if we look at beverages here. So we got soda, bottled water, and juices. It's already being sold there. We also have liquor, wine, and beer. Now, looking on here, there is liquor to be had as a specialty store. No specialty for soda or bottled water, which makes sense. No specialty for beer, but there is specialty for wine. And no specialty for juices. So wine or liquor are going to be your two specialties. I'm going to go for the wine. I mean, if this is going to be themed after the Starch family, and well, for anyone of you who have seen my Stardew Valley series, they made copious amounts of wine. So of course we're going to turn this beast into a wine store. But we're also going to get all of the other beverages in there because we want the tier 2 bonuses for all the other beverages, including the soda, the bottled water, and the juices. Here, because this is food, we are not getting the tier 2 bonuses for any of the liquids there. We're just getting tier 1. So that's going to bring in a lot more people just looking for the extra specializations of the drink. As such, well, we'll see how the numbers shake out here. So let's go in here. Let me throw down my checkout counters first. Yeah, we'll do them this way. I'll do them a little backwards this time. I have a feeling this one's going to be a bit more popular in terms of number of shelves needed here. All right, so. Well, I can't actually assign them yet because we haven't finished researching the alcohol license. But what we can do... Now, the other thing, in terms of deciding on a sort of a lure or a impulse buy catcher, we could do a couple of those, and actually we might. Since a lot of people will be coming in here, let's do a couple of flanks. Now, this is going to make it a little bit harder to do our specialization, but we can still make it happen. We'll do 3 things of electronic-y things, and then the rest are going to be... All right, so let's do the rest of all of our non-soda stuff, non-wine stuff, so we know how many wine casks we need. All right, so we've got the soda, bottled water, and juices. We'll put those towards the back. We don't want those front and center. Water, soda, and juices. And then we've got the liquor, boop, and we've got the beer. We can put the beer over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we need 9 shelves of wine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we can actually get a couple more non-wine things in here. I mean, we'll have to balance it out with that. Do I want another thing of liquor, or do I want something else stuck in here? I guess we could do clothing racks to tempt the fashion victims. Yeah, well, let's get a clothing rack in here, just a single one, to tempt fashion victims, which will, of course, necessitate another unit of wine. And then I don't know if there's another thing. I mean, I could do another thing of electronics to tempt, like, music lovers or gamers or what have you. But we've already kind of done all of that, so let's get some fridges in here. See if we can get some cold ones for our peeps. Well, one cold one. And then one wine one. There. All right, we're good. All right, now we just need to wait for our liquor license to show up. and we'll be in business. I'll hire everybody once we have our liquor license so we can get everything assigned. Well, for the time being, oh yeah, we have to assign this stuff. So this is a store. And, well, we don't need to. Let's manage the store. Store 4. It's not store 4. This is ancient fruit, because that's the type of wine that we had. And we will be matching the hours of everybody else. Assign it to this general storage. Might as well. And then, yes, now we can start setting stuff up here. So for our temptations, we are going to want to diversify here. So let's get a tablet here, and a smartphone here, and a TV set. Sure. Buy some beers and buy the TV set to watch the big game. Speaking of the beer, this is where our beer is. Oh well, this is where our beer would be if we had some dresses. Yeah, dresses or coats, and we already have an extra gimme of coats, so we'll do a gimme of dresses. And then up here are going to be our non-alcoholic stuff: the soda, the bottled water, and the juices, so we get to lock in the tier 2 bonuses of them. And yeah, we just need to wait. Oop, research. 3 more hours. Okay. So we might have a truncated opening here, but that's okay. All right, got everyone coming in. There's our research. 9 hours? Nah. We can do without that. What do we need, however? Let's see. Books, DVDs, Blu-ray, music. That's not a bad one. Appliances. That's also not a bad one. I mean, we could go for these, the frozen fruits, the frozen fruits, or the the chemical supplier could be a big one as well. Well, you know what? Let's go for the frozen fruits. We might be able to do a little paradigm shift and make this a pure, well, almost pure, food store. Meanwhile, all right, so you, my friend, are going to be beer. You're also going to be beer in the cold section here. You, my friend, are going to be liqueur. And you, my friend, will be wine. And wine. And wine. So much wine. Wine, wine, wine. Because we have to balance out those electronics there, because those are obviously not wine either. And then I think we can do a non-wine over here. So we'll do a second thing of liquor. That should do it in terms of... so let's just let's get our staff going here. Stock clerk. Wow, great sociability, guys. So we'll take the fast, not so social. You come on in at 4. I have a feeling you're not going to come in today. I mean, if you won't, that's fine. Yeah, you're not going to come in today. So I'm not going to hire our cashiers because no one's going to be there to pay for it anyway. Since our builders are done with everything, well, not quite done with everything. Let's get some more fancies here. Get a couple extra plants and a water dispenser here just to prettify our store up a little bit. Give it a little bit of class. And then we'll get some road work here because we've got another section to build. I'm not just going one more episode. We're doing this for a bit. We'll just draw those two out for now. And draw that out like that. But that's for another day. Let's fast forward because we want to see ancient fruit in business as well. So I'll see you guys on the flip side once we get a chance to get ancient fruit up and running. Okay, so for ancient fruit, we've got our stock clerk in. Oh, what happened to all of our good... Oh, they disappeared. I should have hired them. Oh, there's a high sociability. Good. I have a feeling we're going to have a lot more volume in here, so we're going to need more base cashiers. Which is why I built 4 of those. We'll get a stock standard of 2 and 2 in the morning, and then we'll have 2 floaters in the middle. All right, you get to be floater. Actually, why don't you be morning floater, and you be evening floater. There you go. Stagger it a little bit. All right, that should do nicely. I'm having the stock clerk come in early, just so they can get the stuff on the shelves. And I'm curious to see how many more people come into the shopping center as a whole now that we've unlocked all of these tier things, because that's a lot of base. That's a lot of base demand that we're starting to fulfill here. And all that wine. Let's just double check and make sure we're... Whoa, 40... Whoa, 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 whoa. You, my friend, are... you're going to be more wine. You need... All right, good. 52%. Phew! We need to make sure we unlock the wine potential there. That's kind of the whole point. And we're above 50% in beverages. So these couple of random tables of electronics and clothes aren't going to spoil the mix. Come on, man. Get those electronics out there. Look at all those people who are grabbing up those smartphones. Take a look at our parking situation, too. Now, what are the markup on these? Yeah, 7 to 14. Not a great specialty, but still, it brings them in. You got the tablets here. You got the smartphones and the TVs. You're tier 2. All right, not too. Oh, I cleaned out the beer. That's one way to do it. Oh, did I ever? Oh, you're set to beer too. Boy, beer got cleared out real hard. Yeesh. All right, let's see how we did. Ancient. Well, we'll have to wait for the hour to roll itself over. Boop. 73% profit margin. $2,000 profit. Not too shabby. Compare that to Maru's Secret. Well, 6,000. That just shows you how much. And 92%. That's, yeah, that's a lot. And then, of course, we have Pine Starch's Retailer Oasis. Not as high a margin, but still higher raw numbers. Let's see how we're doing against our demand before we cut our episode here. Not too shabby. We still do have this liquor thing, so a liquor store down the line might not be a bad investment. But at the very least, the wine store is doing pretty darn well. And yeah, look at all this demand for beer, and the bottled water, and the soda. Tier 2 right there. Even juices get a big boost with Tier 2. All right, I think we are in good shape, and we've got our roads going for our next expansion. What's that going to be? Well, you're going to have to tune into the next episode to find out. So, if you like this episode and you want to see more like it, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave me a comment. Good, bad, or indifferent, your feedback's always welcome. So until next time, this has been Pinstar signing out. See ya.